Hey guys, it's Kelly. Hey, I just wanted to explain this first before I get into my voiceover, where I got these things from. So I'm working on my Mixed Media Mini Art Journal series. It's the next page. Here was the last page. And you can see the link below. I will show you guys with the link that gets you to the whole playlist. So, but before I got into my voiceover, I always feel rushed in my voiceover. I wanted to explain where this came from. Now, I like to go into my bin of little bits and stuff that I keep that didn't make it into the project. Like I got a little pile here. I'm going to work on something with all that. But this came from my Cricut Imagine cartridge Better Together. I cut this a long time ago and I embossed it with some clear embossing powder. And it didn't make it in the project at the time, didn't make the cut, but it's perfect for how I feel right now. Because a dear friend of mine, she hasn't been feeling well for such a long time. We have not been able to get together in months. So I'm having Carrie withdrawals. So, and I know she's having Kelly withdrawals too. We talk all the time, but we haven't seen each other. I'm not sure if that's going to make the cut or not. But anyway, that's where this came from. Now, if you guys haven't been in your little tidbits box, you know, just do it. Just dig in there and find something pretty to make. So this is pretty cut and dry and simple, but the next one I'm going to be working on, I'm hoping to use a bunch of these little tidbits. They don't go with these guys. Well, that one might. So, but we'll see what happens. So that explains where that came from, and I'll be right back and do a voiceover for the rest. Okay, so this page was a whole lot of fun, super easy. But first I had to gesso it because every page in this book is kind of glossy. So I have to put gesso on it so that it gets some tooth to hold my paint or medium, whatever I'm going to use. And I decided, heck, I'm going to have to do the other page, so let's just gesso on both. So I made it go pretty fast for you guys because it's just slapping on gesso and drying it. And then I'm using some paper to protect my other pages. I just grabbed some colors from my gelatos and decided, I think I'm going to have to layer this background. So I started kind of dark, knew I was going to lighten it, have some layers of gelatos throughout. So when I first get started, you're going to go, what are you doing? You're making mud. But I really, believe it or not, I had a plan for this. But if you're making a background and you're using colors and you're like, oh great, I just made mud, maybe this is going to be helpful to you guys who are like, all I ever do is mix colors too much and I'm making mud. So mostly for people who are new to this, I'm a professional mud maker, and you'll see all my colors blend together and it winds up looking brownish, grayish, you know, but you can still see pops of the green, orange, and blue in there, and that's what I wanted. So obviously where it's at now is not what I want. So you have to play with it, and this is how you can lighten that up. So if you're using gelatos, you know, you can put the white over it like I'm doing and then smear it around with a baby wipe. But what's important is drying it in between and making sure that you set those colors where you want them so that your next layer, depending on what you want to show through, will actually show through. And I don't think I'm explaining it as well as I could be, but so once I got that foundation down, I decided I wanted to do a whitewash of it with a little bit of gesso, but I still want to see some of the colors coming through because I'm going to put a blue metallic gelato on top, and then I want the orange and the green just to peek through a little, just to give it some depth and interest in the background. So, and you'll see how that works. So I'm just putting a little bit of gesso down on my nonstick craft sheet, and then I'm using my finger to grab my water, and I'm just smearing it in there and smearing it around. And I needed to put on a little bit more just so that I could wipe it away and get to that point where the metallic blue gelato is going to stick to it but still be able to kind of see through it. So, and again, just using my baby wipes. And that is too washed out. I mean, I guess that would work for something else, but it's definitely not going to work for my plan here. So then I add the light blue metallic after this dries. Again, that's real important to dry it. If you just keep making mud over and over again, take the time to dry it real quick. It makes a world of difference. So metallic blue right there, really pretty light blue. And although you're like, what are you doing? You just covered everything up. And well, kind of, sort of. You can't see too well, but now I'm dipping my finger in water. And you can see that it lifts some of that up, smears it around, and you can see the texture, and you can see the green, a little bit of the orange in the background. It's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of what I wanted. So, but here we go. Whipped Spackle Faber-Castell. This is the first time I'm using this whipped spackle, and I'm in love with it. I don't want to stencil with anything else. Absolutely love it. Now, what I did with the stencil is I decided not to do it on the whole page, which I kind of regret that now. I think it would have been better just give it the whole page. But I thought, no, I'll just do little bits and pieces of it here and there. And the spackle, it's super, super light. I know it's been around for a while, but I just haven't bought any because I had a big old tub of Liquitex modeling paste, or yeah, molding paste. Anyway, it's all dried out because I live in the desert. So I love that they come in Faber-Castell is a little more expensive, but I love that they come in smaller containers because then they can't dry out as fast. You know, the other ones come in huge containers and then it's all dried out and I wasted. So the little issue with the stencil there isn't the spackle. That was me. It slipped underneath my stencil, but you know, I was fine with it because this was my fun page. I was just gonna have fun with it. Dedicate it to my friend Carrie because I miss her so much, and just relax and have fun. And I challenged myself to use the items from my scrap bin, and it's just the little drawer that I showed you at the beginning that has all my little bits in it, and they're not perfect. There's things wrong with them, like the two girls hugging. I think it's so cute and it's so me and Carrie, but underneath the chin of one of the girls it's like all black, and that's because the printing screwed up on my Cricut Imagine and printed her a beard. I thought it was funny and we laugh about the silliest thing, so I left it and I thought it was perfect. So we're gonna leave that in there. So my stenciling was like, oh, I'm not gonna stencil where I'm gonna put the two girls, and I kinda wish I would have, but it turned out just fine. So I just used my glue. Now my quick drying glue, I bought that new tube of it, and I cut the tip way too big, so the glue like blobs out. So that will be good for when I'm making journals and books and stuff, but it doesn't work for fine work. It's just flying all over the place, and that's because I cut it too low. But so you'll see it looks really messy. You're like, what the heck are you doing? Well, the tip is cut too low, so now it's massive. And then in my little bits bin, I had a Miss You stamped on some mulberry paper. And then I put the black gelato on it. And then when I got it wet, it kind of bleeded more into the mulberry paper than I wanted. But I went with it anyway, because I had to, because I glued it down. And then what I did was take some of the gelato and water and just use a fine brush and try to put a shadow around them just to kind of bring more attention to them. I had to tone it down because it got a little too dark, so afterwards off camera I did tone down that black border around it quite a bit, but there's still a shadow there because right there it gets a little bit too dark for my liking. So maybe some brown would have been a little bit better on here, but I don't have a brown one, and I was just going with it. This took no time at all, and it was so relaxing and so much fun. And again, I gotta say, I love that whipped spackle. I love how light it is. It's so easy to work with. It's my official favorite. So then I have some sequins. I got some assorted sequins. It says every color of the rainbow. It's by Horizon Group USA. And it's such a great assortment. They're all the same size, though. I kind of wish I had variations of sizes, but I just thought it needed a little something to fill it in. And I went with the sequins. I didn't want to put any glitter on it. Just didn't want to do that. And then after I put that down, and I used my glossy accents to put that down, I needed to go around the outside with black soot. I could have used archival, probably should have, but black soot was easier to snag. And this is all about using things that are on my desk, all like immediately within my reach. So you see the black part underneath her. My son pointed that out to me too. He was like, what happened? Why does she have a beard? I'm like, oh yeah, that's why she didn't make the cut the last time. I didn't even notice it until after I'd embossed it. Who knows? But Carrie will get a laugh out of it when she sees it. So hope you guys like it. Thanks for watching. Hope you got inspired to make something crazy and get into your scrap bin. Thanks, guys.